Happy Friday evening, everyone. Meteorologist Stone Schaefer back for our Friday evening First Alert Weather Update live stream. I want to thank everyone for joining me here as we just continue to keep an eye on our chances of snow over the next really 2 days. It looks to be mostly late Saturday night into Sunday, obviously having some impacts across mid-Michigan, including difficult travel conditions as we will see accumulations here again over the weekend. And that is why we have issued a first alert weather day here over the next couple of days. So I want to thank everyone for joining me. As always, if you have any questions, head over to our Facebook page at WNEM TV5 News. There I do try to just keep you up to date or try to answer any of the questions that you may have about the weather going on here in mid-Michigan. So we start off this 9 p.m. stream overlooking mid-Michigan on our sky tracker, and what we see is that lake effect snow has continued to become more isolated, but you may catch a isolated chance, especially south of Saginaw. I think if anything's falling there, it is very light at this point into the evening. And we'll continue to see this lake effect chance lower as wind actually starts to shift here over the next few hours. That will be the biggest thing to start the day tomorrow as our wind does calm down and should stay calm as we get through Saturday. It'll be into Sunday. We may just have to keep an eye on some of the stronger wind gusts trying to reappear. Now, I did want to zoom out real quickly just at where this system is at currently here at Friday in the 9 o'clock hour. And it's this sort of large area of snow from Iowa through Minnesota, South Dakota, and North Dakota that is going to move its way to the east here over the next day or so, giving us snow chances as we get through Saturday night into Sunday. And I did want to also highlight, because there's been a few people talking about, well, ground temperatures are still pretty warm, and it is true, but we'll take a look at a camera here in Iowa where they're getting a very similar snowfall rate to what we're going to see tomorrow. And I'll tell you, ground temperatures there very similar to what we have here in Michigan. And as we actually look at Des Moines, this is a camera there just north of Des Moines that is showing snow on the ground accumulating. So that's why, again, a very similar setup to what we're seeing. We actually end up maybe getting some help from the lakes as well. They don't really have that feature there, obviously, in Iowa. So that'll be just something we have to keep an eye out. I think it was something we saw last snow system where we got that lake effect in Huron County. Iowa ended up being a pretty good layout. Very similar ground temperatures, a very similar setup, and they got very similar accumulation levels. So we'll see how things turn out in Iowa as we get through the next couple of days. But obviously, we can look at this system as it moves from our west to our east and sort of get a layout of what could happen here over the next couple of days. But again, we do have a first alert weather day issued for both Saturday and Sunday. Now, it won't be for the early hours of Saturday. We actually look to have a pretty nice start to the day. Yes, it will be cold, but we'll stay dry, cloud cover increase, and our wind, well, it's going to stay calm. So if you have any plans early in the day, that includes maybe more Thanksgiving shopping or Michigan University of Michigan versus that team from Ohio. Central Michigan plays another team from Ohio. Both obviously important games to continue their season. If you are traveling to those games, actually looks like it should be pretty good travel conditions. It's going to be later into the afternoon. We see that here Sunday. Really, snow will start late Saturday evening, last into Sunday morning. That's where we're going to see accumulations around 5 to 7 inches. Now, that number could still change just a little bit here over the next couple of days or the next couple of hours. We still have model runs, but I will say there has been a lot of consistency from almost all of the forecasting models with this system. So we hope that continues through the night into tomorrow morning. As of right now, everything looks to continue to hold on to what we're seeing. So what we can expect for Sunday morning is slow travel, difficult travel at times. I think the nice thing is the system moves out pretty quickly. So it's not going to be an all-day thing. I think by Sunday afternoon, road crews should have a pretty good time keeping up with what we have on the ground and what we have on the roads. So by Monday morning, yes, it will be pretty good conditions for anyone heading off back to work after a long weekend. And obviously don't expect schools to be canceled. We'll obviously keep an eye on that. That could obviously change as we get through the weekend. But snowfall into the weekend, not the best thing for some of those kids that are looking for that sort of snow day, if we still even get snow days nowadays. But I did want to highlight the winter alerts. Haven't really changed through this afternoon. If you watched our 6 p.m. stream, it is exactly the same. Counties, areas through the Tri-Cities out west and even south, the Shiawassee County and the Lansing area are showing a winter storm warning. So what that's going to include is snow chances, heavy at times, from tomorrow morning to 10 a.m. Now again, with the size of that warning, they're just mentioning that snow could start early in the morning out west. I think if you have plans to travel even towards Chicago, so we're talking about Kalamazoo, that area could see snow just a little bit earlier. Not so much from in Michigan. The National Weather Service has that warning, including 6 to 10 inches of snow. And then for the other areas that you see there, that includes Genesee County, you're going to be looking at a winter weather advisory, very similar timing, actually a little bit later in the day, 3 p.m. to 10 a.m. They're actually including that with 5 to 7 inches of snow. So even if you're not in that winter storm warning, you still could get some good snow totals through Saturday into Sunday. Could still see difficult travels. It's just the falling snow has to reach a certain criteria. And right now, the National Weather Service, whether it's in Detroit or Gaylord or even Grand Rapids, maybe it just hasn't decided if that snow is going to fall down enough in a certain period of time to give areas like Genesee County a winter storm warning. I will say, though, I think there's going to be a chance that you do get upgraded into tomorrow, just as we get a better reading of this snow as it starts to move in. So let's take a look at our hour by hour. This is the latest forecasting model run here. It shows that snow chances for tonight really start to lower itself as that lake effect chance goes away. As we get through tomorrow morning, we actually see relatively clear conditions, just that cloud cover building itself as we're waking up tomorrow morning. It's right around, I'd say, noon to 2 p.m. where we start to see our first signals that we'll get some light snow. Then it starts to increase as we get into the afternoon. By 3 p.m., I think it'll be Isabella, Gratiot County that have the best shot of seeing that snow chance first. Then it becomes more widespread very quickly. At the start, it may actually fight off some drier air. By about 6 p.m., I think our atmosphere is pretty saturated. So that's where we start to see that widespread snow sort of take over not only mid-Michigan, but much of Michigan. And that's going to continue to give consistent snow, maybe heavy at times. In terms of snowfall rates through the night, it looks like our peaks will be right around an inch an hour for areas that do get that peak snowfall. Now, could we see it a little bit higher in some areas? Yeah, very isolated is a possibility, but about an inch an hour definitely looks to be our peak for Saturday night into Sunday. And again, our wind should stay calm, so blowing snow might not be that bad of a factor as we're at least getting out Saturday night, because I know we do have a few events going on late Saturday. That is Michigan State playing Maryland at Ford Field. So if you're going to that game later in the day, I think kickoff is at 7 p.m., you're actually going to be dealing with some maybe bad travel conditions late into the night. So just be prepared for that. And then obviously Sunday morning, we start again, sort of restart Michigan High School Football Championships. We had 4 games today. There's 4 games on Sunday. So got to keep an eye on those as well if you're going to be traveling down there. A few nice things for this system, I think, are the snow looks like any typical Michigan snow. I think if you live in Michigan, you're going to be used to this. It's not too wet. It's not going to be too dry where it's that fluffy stuff. It's sort of right in the middle. I think that's a good thing. It's going to be nice for crews to get out there and sort of get our roads uncovered. Another nice thing is this storm doesn't really linger. It's going to move in and really move out. By about midday Sunday, most of that snow looks to move out to our east, and what remains is just some lake effect snow as our wind will be from the north-northwest once again. So that's always a good thing. Again, I think we're going to see a lot of people go, well, it's Michigan. We're used to that. And I agree. I think it is that time of year. We're expecting these snowstorms. I think we're just wanting you to be prepared, as this is probably the first big snow, or not big, but a first significant snow many areas could see. I know there are some areas even today that are probably not happy hearing me say that, especially Roscommon County, Ogama County, where you got up to 12 inches of snow from Wednesday into Thursday. As we get through this, though, this will be Saginaw seeing some snow, Bay City, Midland, down to Flint, and then out east. So definitely something we're going to see. And again, there will be travel concerns as we're getting up Sunday morning. So if you have, again, those travel plans Sunday morning and even Saturday night, be prepared. We continue to see impacts on our winter weather impact map into the moderate rating through sort of the Bay region, into the Tri-Cities, out there towards 127. That's including Elma into Gratiot County. And then if you have travel plans again down to Detroit, Grand Rapids, Lansing, those are also included in that moderate impact for our sort of Saturday into Sunday. So just something that we're going to have to just keep an eye on. And there's even minor impacts across the rest of Michigan. So even if you don't see as much snow, you're still going to have those impacts at times as we get through Saturday into Sunday. Now, in terms of snowfall potential for this system, there hasn't been much change. I think the one thing with this system, it's been very consistent on forecasting models. Obviously, Wednesday, we're only about 2 or 3 forecasting models that can go through the weekend, and those were showing 4, 5, 6 inches. Then we got 4 more forecasting models, and those started to show very similar numbers as we've gotten through the day. So that is why I think most of mid-Michigan is going to see that chance of 5 to 7 inches. Could you see more? Yes, localized areas could definitely see a little bit higher. I especially think if you live out towards southern Gratiot County or western Shiawassee County, you could even see just a little bit more. And then out to the east, some of our coastline cities, I think you're going to have more of a chance of seeing 4 to 6 inches of snow. I think that's with the influence of some warmer water. That helps maybe keep away some of that heavy snowfall that you could occur Saturday into Sunday. Christopher asked, when does the snow start tomorrow? So Christopher, that snow, based on where you live, looks to start, I think, mostly by about 3 to 4 p.m. It's going to be after that that we see more consistent snowfall rates and then through the remainder of the night. So I think if you live in Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, again, that 3 to 4, maybe 5 p.m. range. If you live out west, it could be a little bit earlier than that. So it's just a system that, again, is moving from the west to the east. I'll look at our hour by hour again just to show you. Again, seeing some light snow by noon and then having that chance sort of spread out to the east as we get through 4 and 5 p.m. So this is 5 p.m. on this model, showing that snow in Bay City and Midland and then becoming very widespread by 7 to 8 p.m. So definitely a widespread snow event. Again, it's Michigan. We're pretty used to this, but still be prepared as, again, it is there. How much snow for Mount Pleasant? So we are including Mount Pleasant right now in that 5 to 7 inch mark. Now, could you see a little bit more? It's really areas 127 west that, if you've been paying attention, have been signaling that, hey, maybe there's a little bit more energy with this system as it moves through. So I think 5 to 7 is a good spot. Could you catch a little more locally, especially if you live west of Mount Pleasant? I think so. Now, I did want to quickly highlight something. This is some of the models that we use to sort of help give us an idea of how much snow we're going to see. And this is just for them. We have a lot more models that we do use, forecasting models that we use to help sort of predict how much snow we can see. We also use atmospheric sounding, so a good thing to do is look out to our west and just see how is the atmosphere looking in areas like Iowa, and we can compare it to us. Sometimes talking is hard. I apologize for that. But again, looking at this model, and I'm actually going to make this full screen so you have a better view. And I just see a few more questions pop up. I'll get to that here in a second. But I just wanted to talk about this. This is all up until Sunday, either 9, 10, or 11 p.m. And the one common sight you see is pretty similar numbers. I'll say that's not something we commonly see. Usually there's one model that maybe is an outlier, or 2 models that's an outlier. Really, like I said, the consistency between forecasting weather models with this system has been pretty surprising, just how consistent they are. So that's what we want to see. But again, that could mean 4 5 to 7 inches for many across mid-Michigan. I'll actually take me back on the screen. So a few more questions. Derek asks, what time Sunday will it be done in Gratiot County? So I think Gratiot, you're probably looking at as early as 9 to 10 a.m. We can look at our hour by hour here. So it's showing 8 a.m. Could some snow linger a little bit longer? Yes. But it's, again, a quick moving system. It's going to be out by the time many of us are waking up Sunday morning. You're just going to wake up to that snow on the ground. And then Jordan asks, is it going to get below freezing into Sunday? Will icy road conditions be something to watch for? Let's look at our 7-day real quick, just to have a sort of an idea what we can expect. Temperatures will be right at freezing, lower 30s. I think some areas will be freezing. Could you see some ice on the road? I'm not going to count that out. If you definitely get a little bit of melting early in this system, and then we drop overnight, so we're talking about 20s Saturday night into Sunday, you could see a layer of ice on the roads. So you just got to be careful with that. There's going to be snow at times. There's going to be ice. But I think if you're going to be out there, if you're driving in one of the snow plows, you actually have a pretty decent time. I think you're going to have an easy time sort of getting ahead of this. If you can just keep up, I think you can keep the roads pretty good and do a good job with this system, as it looks to be just through the nights. The one thing that follows after this system is colder temperatures. So there was somebody on Facebook earlier, a few people have mentioned, well, is this going to melt like our previous snow, at least here in Saginaw, in Bay City, where you did get some snow? Is it going to melt? Most likely not. If we look at our 7-day forecast here, highs are back in the 20s. So 29 on Monday, 27 on Tuesday, could hit the 30s on Wednesday, but then we're right back into the 20s for Thursday into Friday. And I will say there's been some signals that it could get even colder beyond this 7 days. Still a lot of time between now and then, but I'm definitely going to be seeing chances of 20s and 30s through next week, and then our lows in the teens. And Stephanie said, sorry if I missed it, but what time does it start tomorrow in the mid-Michigan area? It's okay. Everyone joins the stream at different times. But in terms of snow starting tomorrow, I think if you live out towards 127, you'll start to see a few light snow chances right around, we'll say, noon. Then getting more consistent right around 3 to 4 p.m. and then really seeing that consistent snowfall moving itself in right around 7 to 8 p.m. across much of mid-Michigan. So Bay City, Saginaw will be included in that, Midland as well. Do you think there will be issues with school on Monday? Christopher asks. It's hard to say. I think because of the timing, and again, I don't want to guarantee anything. I don't want to say anything because it is hard to say. But I think because it is early enough in the day, our road crews will have a pretty good time, a pretty long time to catch up to that snow, clear our roads. I would say right now I don't anticipate any school closures on Monday, or at least any major issues, but there could still be some schools that do want to stay closed. Again, that's just my opinion. It's hard for me to say. Every school's a little bit different with their decision making. But that snow, again, is over Sunday morning, so a lot of time for our roads to have good recovery into the afternoon, and even by Monday, roads should be in good shape. We'll actually see if I can pull that up real quick. Let's see if it loads here before I end our stream. And again, it's a first alert weather day for Saturday into Sunday. So in terms of our road conditions, I think Saturday evening, you start to see those roads become slick as we get into Saturday night. Most roads will be snow covered, and then Sunday morning, expect slow travel as that snow continues to fall. But into Sunday afternoon, I think we should be able to get back on track as no more snow should fall as we get through the afternoon. So with that, I am going to just start to wrap up our stream here. I want to thank everyone for joining me here today as we once again look at our 7-day forecast. As always, if you want to catch more streams from us, follow us on Facebook, on our YouTube channels at WNEM TV5 News. You can also head over to our website at WNEM.com. There, we do try to keep you up to date with all the local weather, news, and sports. You can also scan this QR code right below me, or even behind me. I forgot that's behind me on the screen. that will send you to the App Store, whether that's on Google or Apple, and you'll download the TV5 First Alert Weather app. If you don't have that app, it is very helpful. We send updates all the time on there. You can get local weather, you can get your radar on there, so if you're just out and about tomorrow afternoon and you're like, hey, it's starting to snow, let me see what this system looks like, you can check the radar on the app. But otherwise, we are going to end the stream here. Have to get ready for our 10 p.m. newscast. I want to thank everyone for joining me. Hopefully, you've had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hopefully, you found some good deals on Black Friday. And hopefully, you can enjoy the weekend. Maybe stay indoors and enjoy what winter weather we do have, especially if you're a winter lover. I think you're going to like these next couple of days. But hopefully, again, everyone can enjoy. As always, I'm meteorologist Stone Schaefer. First Alert meteorologist Matthew Monroe will be here in the morning to give you more of those updates, and then we'll continue to have those updates through tomorrow afternoon.